Hey, this is Vinny. I just wanted to inform you that your comments may or may not be shown on screen tonight. Hey, good evening, everybody. We got a lot of things to talk about tonight. You know, I do a little research before each show, try to talk about the topics we're going to talk about and do a little research. But so much stuff comes out that it's hard to keep track of everything. So I'm going to try to go step by step. Now, first thing, Maxine Waters. She tries to incite a riot, but it's okay, according to Nancy Pelosi. But Trump says that people have a peaceful protest, but because some people got a little carried away, keep throwing it against them, throwing it against them. She started, they must be confrontational. To me, that's inciting a riot. And guess what? After this conviction, yesterday, they rioted. And they not only in that city there, they did it in Manhattan. They come over to the people eating dinner, harassing them. Here's what she did wrong. The judge even said that if this guy gets convicted, he did get convicted, he has grounds for appeal. And you know what? I think he's guilty. I really do. I think what he did was terrible. But I'd like to see him make an appeal, just to throw it in their face. Of course, he'll probably get convicted again, but hey, that's life. Okay. Now, I keep hearing about defunding the police. The squad. I love those people. The squad wants to forget about defunding. They say we got to get rid of the police. Now, what kind of chaos would there be, anarchy, if there's no police? Look in these neighborhoods where they have the no-go zones, autonomous zones. They have crime within their autonomous zone amongst themselves. Recently, in one of the autonomous, I think it's in Portland, they had a shootout. But you know what? Let them kill each other. If they're going to be that animalistic, and they don't want the police in there, then let them do it. But one of the things we talked about before, I'm going to talk about again, is what's going on at the border. It's terrible. They keep blaming Trump. They say Trump had control of the border. He had a system. People waited on the other side of the border for their cases to come up. They were good with that. The Mexican government was good with that. There was no big surge. They still let people come in. They can't process all these people now. It's overwhelmed. My nephew is a custom border patrol detective. It's crazy. Now, what's happening is, and this is where we're really in trouble, there's the getaways. These are the people that they can't catch. They've caught convicted pedophiles, convicted sex offenders. They caught terrorists. They caught all kinds of people trying to get in. They caught them. What about the ones they didn't catch? The cartel are making billions of dollars. Number one, all these people are coming over from these Central American and Mexican, these countries, mostly Central American. They claim poverty, but meanwhile, they have to save up their money to pay the coyotes, the cartel operatives that bring them over. And how do they bring them over? They put them in the water. They put them in the river. I don't even know why they need these coyotes, but they do it. There's videos of them coming over in a life raft, in a rubber raft. They never had that before. The people on the other side of the river are going crazy. The Arizona Attorney General has asked the governor to declare a state of emergency. They're putting their own state National Guard on because you got California, you got Texas, you got New Mexico and Arizona bordering Mexico. So there's so many ports of entry there, and you know it's terrible because these dedicated people trying to stop it. Now, my son just told me MS-13 is surging. They're the worst of the worst. They kill people just to get into the gang. That's how bad they are. I mean, I could see, and I'm not condoning it, I could see someone killing somebody because there was a drug transaction. You ripped me off. I'm going to kill you. Da, da, da. They can just kill people indiscriminately to prove that they are killers. That's how bad they are. Now, you have children. I don't know how a parent can let their children travel all these miles. It's like 2,000 from Guatemala to Mexico and to California. I believe it's upwards of 1,500, 2,000 miles. How do you let a kid 6, 7 years old travel like that? I mean, I don't understand. There's something behind this. It's not just these kids. There's somebody behind it. Soros, the left, whatever, helping these people. Matter of fact, some of these women, they're very well. There's one woman they pinpointed her. She's severely overweight. She's got brand new clothes, a brand new iPhone, and she got a Biden shirt. So Biden let us in, or something like that. How does she get 2,000 miles? Come on, there's something behind them. They want to destroy this country. Now, here's what they want to do. The socialist Democrats want the chaos. They like the chaos. This is all the socialist communist manifesto. And you see it with the racial stuff, all the stuff. The election, I'm not going to get into it. We could talk ad infinitum about the crooked election. The guy, Biden, did not even he didn't even want to. I'm going to calm down. I got to calm down. Okay. We have the worst setup in the government right now. Now they're trying to pack the court. They're spending money. We have a $22 trillion deficit in the budget. And the way they want to spend it would be $215 trillion. Okay. They have so many different pork barrel things that are unbelievable. Now, we have one way that we can get over all this. This thing called the Convention of States. I just joined a group. It's been around for a while. Now, let me give you a quick rundown, and I think everybody should really pay attention to this. First of all, the states formed the federal government, not the other way around, okay? Now, in a Convention of States, Congress can propose amendments, but the states can call a convention and propose an amendment and send it back to the individual states for ratification. Now, one of the areas that they can do is term limits. As you know, we have many Republican and Democratic, and I'm going for both lines. This is for everybody, not just Republicans or conservatives, for everybody. You have people in Congress for 40 years, Senate for 30. Look at Chuck Schumer. Never had a job in his life. Comes out of law school, bing, he becomes a politician, becomes a senator, and he's been a senator for how many, 37, 80, 38 years? I mean, come on, ridiculous. Look at the talk about Maxine Waters. Look at Nancy Pelosi. How long has she been in Congress? Come on, ridiculous. The other thing is they could create term limits for these people, which is very important. And I think even Democrats might want it, conservative or middle of the road Democrats might want that. And also the debt, they can, the Convention of States could calm down the spending also. Remember that the states formed the federal government, not the other way around. The federal government works for us. We don't work for them. However, the way that it's been come out all these years is we work for them. No. We have 2 million federal employees. Do we need 2 million federal employees? A lot of these people just don't. I mean, they got jobs, but come on. It's ridiculous. I'll give you an example. Why they claim that they don't have enough people to process people at the border. Okay. They've been saying this for years. Take 10,000 of the employees out of the energy department and put them over there and give them the training to process these people. Or take people from another agency that has too many people and let them work at trying to get these people processed. Now, nobody can complain that you don't want people to come in this country if they're coming here legally. Unfortunately, all these people come in illegally. You know that the Democrats want to make them voters, even if they don't. Then now it's against our Constitution. Now, Joe says after 200 years, the convention of states never happened, but we got to make it happen now. All you need is 34 states to vote on a convention, and then you need 38 to ratify it. Now, I understand from my studies that we have about 30, almost maybe 30 states that are what they call red states. And I'm sure there's some blue states that might go into this convention. So let's talk about it. I hope people would do some research on it and join me in helping to get this. This is the only thing we can do. People keep saying, oh, Trump is going to come back. He's going to come back. He's not coming back till 2024. The talk that they had, all these different people saying that we're going to get back the government from. It's not going to happen. It'll be chaotic. It'll be a civil war. It's not going to happen. I wish it could happen, but it's not going to happen. This is the only thing that we could curb the federal government. And the only other thing is let's get the Republicans in the House of Congress. It's a very narrow margin. If we could flip a couple more seats, at least we could have something, at least have some checks and balances in the government. We don't. We have a president, a Senate, and a Congress all in one party. That's what they want. They want a one party. They want a complete control of everything that we're doing. So I did enough talking. Let's get some of my guests. I got some really good people here. I got Vicky Palladino is running for Assemblywoman in the 19th district in Whitestone, Queens. And she's running against another Republican for primary. And I hope and I know that she's going to win. She's going to win. I want her to talk. Vicky, you ready to give us your wisdom?
Am I ready? Yes, I'm always ready, Vinny.
All right, yeah.
First of all, I'm running for city council, not for state assembly.
City council.
State assemblies next year. That's when we change the governor and our state government. This year is all about New York City. So I'm running for city council. Curtis Lewa is running for mayor. I am in a primary for District 19. District 19 hugs the coastline. For those who are familiar with Queens and those who aren't, let me familiarize you with who District and what District 19 is. District 19 is a middle class, blue collar, and some upper middle class, hardworking people. We hug what's called the coastline of the Long Island Sound. We go from College Point to Whitestone to Bayside to Little Neck, Douglaston, parts of North Flushing, and Auburndale section of Queens. You're here in my campaign office. I just see you made the screen a little bit larger. Anyway, I'm very proud and I'm very happy to be running. It's an honor to be running. I am in a primary, looking forward to it. And that's on June 22nd. There's a lot of things that need changes. There's a lot of changes coming. There's a lot of changes that the people don't know about. The city council's job is to enlighten the people, their constituents in their district as to what's going on. Up until now, there has been zero transparency. So homeless shelters, rezoning, all this sort of stuff is going in here where we live without the people knowing. They find out about it by reading a newspaper. They don't. Our city councilman now, Paul Vallone, has let this district down, and I know that because I'm a constituent. John Liu is our state senator. He has let us down with bail reform and with a lot of other things. We also have Assemblyman Ed Brodenstein, who has also been a waste of time. These are politicians that have been politicians for 16 years and better, way too long. As soon as you become a career politician, you become a corrupt politician. And the Democrats are making it so that everybody has to go so far left in order to run on the Democratic Party. So anybody who's out there that's a common sense Democrat, I need your vote. I need the independents vote. I need you people who are blanks to vote for me. It's a common sense thing. It's a live or die election for this city. We all know the situation we're in. And it's no law, no order. And it's a total takeover. It's a monopoly by the Democratic Party. We will not stand for it here in District 19. And I need people to come out and vote.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You go on a city council How many Republicans are on the city council?
There are 51 seats on the city council. As of now, 3 Republicans hold seats.
I had to figure it was only about 3 or 4. Yeah.
It's 3, and it's a monopoly. And I will tell you this: out of the 3, I could only name you 1. I can name you 2, but 1 is a rhino, votes with the Democrats every chance he gets, backs our borough president, who is the Bronx borough president, who is Eric Adams. He's running for mayor now.
Brooklyn, yeah,
And
Brooklyn,
he also backed our present borough president now, who is Donovan Richards. And that's our city councilman, our Republican city councilman that comes out of Howard Beach. His name is Eric Ulrich.
Yeah, I know him. I know him very good. I know him very. He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but he's
that's
helping.
your opinion.
He's
That's
helping.
your opinion. That's
why
your
I'm saying,
opinion.
okay.
You're entitled to it. Okay.
Right. But he's also helping Eric Adams with his campaign.
Yes, he and Donovan Richards for our borough. We also have Joe Borelli in Staten Island. I would probably say Joe Borelli is probably the only real Republican we have out of 51, Vinny, 51. And the other guy I can't even name because I don't know.
Okay, but let me ask you something. When you're on the city council, I know you're going to win. I'm 100% positive you're going to win. If you don't win, I'm going to kill somebody. All right, so you're on the city council. What are you going to? You got to have a big mouth there because you got 47 people against you.
Yes.
How do you propose anything? You got to really have a big mouth.
Well, you're right. The main thing is educate. Never back down, ever. Never back down, ever. My district comes first. The city and I will work together, and we will. By that I mean the new mayor, who will be Curtis Lewa. If everybody does this the smart way, we do not need an establishment politician to become our next mayor. We need someone like Curtis, like myself, common sense, intelligent, all right? Because a lot of people say empty barrels make the most noise. No, you listen very carefully. I make a lot of noise and I make a lot of sense. It's the sense that they don't want to hear. And it's the common sense that I will deliver to them each and every time. I look forward to it. Curtis knows the belly of the beast. Vinny, he's been around for 43 years. He came out in 1977. Come on. Okay.
I remember him coming out with the Guardian Angels.
Okay. And you know
now,
what?
let me ask you something. I don't know if you can answer this question.
Okay.
He works for ABC Radio, owned by John Casamiti.
He's not allowed anymore.
Oh, he's not on anymore? Okay.
No, he had to resign in order to run.
Okay. Now, is John Casamiti going to help him?
I'm sure. They're very good.
He ran for mayor a couple of years ago. And
yes, he did in 2013. Yes, he did. I cannot speak for John. I don't speak for anybody but myself.
Your opinion.
My opinion is I would think that John is very good friends with Curtis. I know John has already thrown Curtis a fundraiser of sorts. It was a very nice fundraiser. But hey, look, you know what?
Well, the reason
Manhattan
I say that is he's a billionaire. If he could throw some money towards that.
The campaign finance board here in the city of New York has got very, very strict rules we must follow to the letter. All of my donations, if anybody out there wants to donate to my campaign, you go to Vicky for NYC FOR, Vicky spelled with an IE. And it's vicky4nyc.com. You could donate there. For Curtis Lewa, it's curtislewaformayor.com. Everything is monitored so carefully as it should be, because we've been graced with the ability, and I never look a gift horse in the mouth, we've been graced with the ability of matching funds of 8-to-1. So if somebody out there in your listening audience gives me $10 and lives within the 5 boroughs, that $10 donation is now $90. So there's very strict rules. So
okay,
John,
so let's say I win the lottery tonight. I got $90 million.
You get.
And I want to contribute. So don't
You're
get
not
carried. Wait, no,
Vinny, you're not allowed to,
this is
you're not allowed to
hypothetical.
contribute more
I'm
than
talking
$1,000.
hypothetical, Vicky. Vicky,
What?
hypothetical. So I win 90 million. So
Hypothetical.
I want to give you $2 million. I have to put it into the campaign fund.
You're not allowed. No. Yeah, no, I'm
I
only
just saved
allowed.
$2 million then.
Listen to me very carefully. Nobody is allowed to donate more than $1,000 complete to my entire campaign from start to finish. From now until November, $1,000 is the maximum contribution a person is allowed to make for a city council person's race. Now,
Oh.
for a mayor's race, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe the maximum is $2,500 for the entire life of the campaign. So whereas you could be a billionaire, but you are not allowed to donate more than $2,500. And what is maxed for me at 8-1, if somebody wants to make a donation of $10 up to $175, that donation is greatly appreciated and most needed and
So I can only, I can't give you a 90. I can only give you up to $1,000.
That's it. And out of
Now
that,
I have a large family. I got 300 people in my family.
well,
Each one
then
can
you
give you.
tell them and we do a bundle form and they all donate. That's how you do it.
Okay.
Or you tell them to go online and donate with their credit card, and that's how they do it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Vinny.
Well, I'm thinking I'm going
I'll
to
be
win.
looking for that news.
I just saved $2 million that I was going to
There
give
you
you.
go.
Again, it was hypothetical,
That's right. It's hypothetical. That's true.
Now, what you've said, a lot of people think
Right.
that this should be done. So you have to do what people are thinking.
Right.
You have to do it. Now, I give you a lot of, and Joe just said something before. Give you a lot of credit because you got to have as the Jewish people say, you got to have a chutzpah.
A chutzpah. Yeah.
Chutzpah.
Somebody called me.
Chutzpah.
They called me a brazen old broad.
Ooh.
So, and okay, you can call me that, but leave out the old part. But then again, one can't hide what's fact. I am older than anybody probably running.
I'm going to ask you something.
Sure.
I've lived in New York all my life. Now I live in
Yes.
Westchester. Okay.
Yes, you have.
What is in the mind of people voting against? I mean, all right, you could be a Democrat. Okay, I have no problem with that. But don't a Democrat see what's going on and they still vote that way? You see De Blasio. You see what De Blasio is doing. I mean, he destroyed the city. I mean, he's a Marxist, by the way. He's a communist.
Yeah, no, I call him a communist. He's a communist.
He is. He's not going to argue with, he won't argue with him. And he just, I just believe that he wants to destroy the city. That's his mantra.
It's very,
his wife, forget about what his wife, $85 million, almost $1 billion. They don't have no excuse. Where is it? Now, it's called Thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Thrive is supposed to help people.
Thrive New York was supposed to help the mentally ill.
Now mentally half the people, not half, 3/4 or 90% of the people that are homeless are mentally ill. It's not about money. They're mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
You see them. They're mentally ill and they go to drugs and drinking, whatever. That adds to their mental state. What are they doing for them, Thrive? What are they doing?
No, Strive is only we actually have a record of what Thrive New York has treated. She stole $1.25 billion. It ends up now 800 million is the rounded off number that they gave us.
But they can't.
You could actually count, Vinny, on one hand or maybe two, how many people Thrive New York has actually helped. And to say, sadly, somewhere around 15 or 20, you could actually count how many people it helped. This was embezzlement. They embezzled the money. You want to hold somebody responsible, you hold the mayor's wife responsible, you hold the mayor responsible, but you got to hold Scott Stringer responsible.
Well, I was just going to say that. He's the controller.
He's
running for mayor.
Correct. And
he don't have a chance. He has a snowball's chance in hell.
But you know what? He got the backing, big deal, of all these all these unions come out pounding the drums for these useless Democrats. And a lot of them don't have a shot in hell of winning their primary. A lot of their union backing, a lot of their union backings don't mean a hill of beans, because thank God people have the common sense today, because they see the destruction, to not vote with the union the way it used to be. The Democratic Party left the Democrats, the normal people. The Democratic Party has deserted the normal Democrats. So even they.
Let me ask you something. Let me interrupt you. Are there enough conservative or middle of the road Democrats that can make a little bit of a change?
Oh yeah, yeah, there are.
I mean, that's where we have to go.
We're counting on that. We are counting on the Democrats of common sense. We're counting on the independents to carry us over the finish line. It's extremely, extremely important. There's not enough Republicans here to do it on our own. De Blasio won by a landslide back in 2017 because of complacency. Nobody came out to vote. This go around is going to be very, very different. We've watched our city burn. We've watched our businesses be put out. We've watched our school children fail. This is hit every demographic across all 5 boroughs. Everybody's a whole lot smarter. So
now, how did Giuliani get elected?
well,
I'm hoping that
we
we
were
will get elected the same way Giuliani got elected. People got disgusted with what was going on.
Yeah, well, Dinkins was our mayor prior to. And,
he was terrible. Oh my God!
Remember?
But you know what? De Blasio's worse than him.
Oh no, De Blasio is by far, like, I don't know how old you are. I'll tell you how old I am. I'm 66 years old. And I'm going to tell you something. In my lifetime, and I've seen John Lindsay, and I've seen Abe Beam, I've seen Koch, I've seen Dinkins, I've seen Giuliani, I've seen Bloomberg. And you know what? Let me tell you something. There is nobody that hates this city more than de Blasio, who was born in Boston, whose real name is not de Blasio. It's Warren Wilhelm Jr. Okay, This guy's a fake, a phony, and a fraud. And the only reason why he got in was because he was public advocate. Now, for a lot of people out there who do not know who the public advocate is, doesn't matter. They don't do anything anyway. Gets paid $12 million a year. But I will tell you this, they're next in line to the mayor. So what happened was, I forgot the guy's name. He screwed up big time in 2013. And when he screwed up, who was the lead in 2013? Can somebody tell me?
Robert.
Never mind. Okay, never mind. The guy who was the leading candidate for the Republican Party, a Democratic Party, he should have taken it. He was the guy who was pictured on the bed with the kid naked next to him. Who was that guy's name? Weiner.
Anthony
Weiner was due to win that.
He was.
What
I liked him at the time.
He did that. He did that screenshot of himself, the moron, and in came Warren Wilhelm Jr., aka De Blasio, and he won. And the Republicans put up a weak candidate also. You got to blame the Republicans too for a lot of what's going on here. Because they do not put their backs behind strong candidates. And what happens is they back weak candidates. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in a primary. All right? I'm in a primary because they don't want me to win. Can you imagine me in city council?
I want to be there. I want to watch you there. I want to see someone argue with you there. You got a lot of energy.
Somebody said to me, and I'll take this to the bank, and I'm gonna ask him to come up and say it. He said, Vicky, I wouldn't come at you with a bat in my hand. And I took that as a very good compliment because it's the truth. You know what? Look, Vinny, when you speak the truth and you act on behalf of the people that you represent, and you're hired by the people, they pay your salary with their taxpayer dollars, you owe it to the people. You owe it to the people to serve them. And these people are not serving the people. They are self-serving. I have no use for self-serving politicians. And
Vicky.
that's what I'm all about.
All right, Vicky, I want you to stay on the show because I want
Sure.
you to add you. I got Courtney coming on and Joe and Anthony. You got to promote my book, the one that I'm a chief.
I didn't know you were a chief.
Now, let me tell you about these books. I'm very proud of these books. The Investigations After Dark is about divorce cases and
That I like to read.
crazy cases. The other book is about I went to French cooking school as a hobby,
Get out of
and while my people were on surveillances, I would be cooking for them. They would say, "Come on, let's make something." So what I did is I have a recipe in there with a story of how I made the recipe while we were doing an investigation. So it's kind of cute, nice.
That is fun.
And then so that's it. That's my answer. Okay, Courtney, you're on, baby.
Hey, so which topic should we tackle first?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I want to actually ask Vicky a question. What made you decide to run for councilman?
Well, Courtney, it goes back a while. I've been a very active mother, a very active person since I'm probably 13, with the Vietnam War. And I never protested against the Vietnam War. I was always very active in school. And I did something 4 years ago, in 2017, that kind of made me die of people. But people who knew me just said, "Oh, that's Vicky being Vicky." What I did was I stepped out against the mayor. We had two more cops were assassinated in 2017. One was police officer Familia, and she was from the Bronx, and she was sitting together with her partner in the car. I'm sorry to say his name is slipping my mind, blaming it on my age. But these two were assassinated. He also did 4 years as mayor, which I kept a very close eye on. So I was asked to run for state senate in 2018. Because I supported, went against de Blasio. I did everything I could to have him lose the race, and I became very vocal. So I ran for state senate. I lost. I lost to John Liu, who's a Democrat. And what happened was when I ran against who is known as Tony Avella, and he had already been in for 8 years. And I beat him by over 5,000 votes, but it became a three-way race. It was Palladino versus Avella versus Liu on a blue ticket because that was the year we were re-electing Cuomo.
Right.
So if I would have ran this year, let's just say for state senate in 2020, I guarantee you I would have won that race.
Right. That's awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Courtney.
I want to address when we were talking about and you were saying the cops were killed. I think there's a really interesting distinction that needs to be made that a lot of people don't realize is they're saying, and Vinny, you were talking about this at the beginning, that they want to get rid of the police altogether. But the truth of the matter is what they really want is to replace it with federal police.
Yeah.
And the reason why I make this distinction, I think it's so important, is because this is what's happening in Canada. And people don't understand. They're saying, "Oh, but we're trying to defund the police, trying to get rid of police." And here they're giving the police more power. They don't understand the different departments of the police, and they don't understand the difference between local police, federal police. And really what we're saying, and Vinny, you alluded to this in your rant in the beginning, is that they're trying to, by way of socialism, which leads to communism, they're trying to federalize everything. So they want to get rid of local, local government, local police. It really gives any kind of local power. And you talked about the states, and that really, I think, is where we can fight back. Because we do need to take back more local power.
Well, this is what it's all about. 150%, you are right. A lot of people do not understand. We don't start here.
No.
You want to be effective in politics, you start here at the local level. City council is probably about as local as you could get right now in the city of New York. And it's really from here, you just move up if you should choose to do so, and you just take the path forward. But you get indoctrinated here. You learn the ropes. They're going to push you up against the ropes. You're going to push back. You're going to fight if you got the fight in you. Now that's what I've got. I've got the fight. But everybody, you're 100% right as far as the federal government goes. We have here what's called the New York Guard. So what Cuomo has done here, because of the restaurants and what's going on with the restaurants and the closing of small business, stopping people for traffic violations, is not the NYPD all the time. It's the National Guard, our state guard. These poor guys and women, they're being told to do these ridiculous things against the city of New York, the citizens of the city. No, you belong where you belong. When we need you, you come. And you know what? We needed them. And when we needed them was last summer, and they were told to stand down.
I know.
Stand down. What, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joe brought that up last week about the federal police. Right, Joe? I think, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right. So, yeah. So Courtney brought that up, and I think you're on the money, Courtney, 100%. So, here we go. It's the classic battle between Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats believe in big government. And how do you do that? If you eliminate the local police forces, AKA defund the police, then you're going to have, the federal police. But what is that going to do? That's going to give more and more power to big government and less power to the states where it belongs. And you have this endless cycle of the government getting bigger and tougher. And the Democrats don't realize what they're asking for. It's a situation. Be careful.
They realize what they're asking.
Yeah, they do realize, and it's not just make the government bigger. I think what people need to realize is you're taking away individual sovereignty. So the individual will cease to have all free will, all individual power and rights.
But do you know how they're getting away with this? This is how they're getting away with this. And I keep bringing this up.
This is a democratic republic. We have 50 states. States have rights. And
it's actually
a lot of the people, a lot of the states now, they're suing the federal government. Florida, Texas, Arizona, they're saying, wait a minute, we have rights. You can't. So the federal government cannot always infringe on the state's rights. And that's
only
why
if you're a red state. Oh, if you're a red state, that's why everybody's leaving here. Because you've got good governors.
Right. But listen,
governors.
Folks, how they're getting away with this.
It's a constitutional republic, not a democratic republic. We're a constitutional republic that has democratic processes.
Exactly, correct.
Yeah. Right. Folks, how they're getting away with this.
I'm supporting this convention of states. And like Joe said, it hasn't been done in 200 years, but it can be done.
Yeah, it can.
If enough people are pissed off about what's going on. Now, I'll give you an example. These immigrant children, you can't call them aliens. You got to call them, whatever, undocumented, whatever. They are putting them in foster homes. They're actually calling people up that are foster parents. Says, can you put another couple kids in your house? The foster parents are pissed off about it. They don't like that idea.
I want to address the Constitution, the Convention of States, because I think what really needs to happen is individual states need to exercise their rights and they need to back each other. I don't think there should be a convention of states, and I'll tell you why. Because the Constitution is actually in jeopardy. There's a convention of states. The only way the Constitution can be changed, you can have ratification occur, is through a convention of states. The Democrats, they know the game better, and they play the game better. They play it dirtier.
They know how to do it.
We don't want them to use it against us, to do things like add DC as a state. Do you see what I'm saying? We don't want them to do that. So I think instead of doing a convention of states, because that could actually alter the Constitution, which is not what we want right now. What we want is individual states to exercise their rights, and we want other states to support them, reinforce them. So, for example, things like DeSantis saying, we will never mandate vaccine passports in Florida. Other states saying the same thing, but they're doing it individually. They have sovereignty over their states, but they're supporting each other in exercising freedoms for their state. I think that's the kind of thing we need.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Now,
Maybe not a convention of states, but a convention of the same thought of each state. For example, a lot
Right.
of
I think it's more, we need alliances and support, reciprocity, not a formal convention of states.
Iowa just voted, their state legislature just voted, they're Republicans, they voted to join the convention of states. So that's one state, you know. But Mark Levin and a couple other real conservative, smart people, they've been promoting this since 2013.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Groundswell, it's going to take a while to do. But one of the things that was what you just said is, what if the left take it over?
Exactly.
What they said is, no, the way that this convention of states is formed and the way it's more of a middle of the road, right wing. It's not, the leftists won't have anything to do with it. They'll try.
We'll use whatever they can use.
Yeah,
I would not be so sure, but they use whatever they can use, and they're going to take whatever tactic.
We didn't go into the Georgia changing the voting laws,
right?
And all the wokeness. I love that word, woke. That the Delta Airlines said, "Oh no, and Coke." And all that stuff, but they bit their nose to spite their face.
Thank you, James.
They don't want to have the Major League Baseball run in Atlanta, all right, Georgia. So they said, go to Colorado. You know, they lost over $100 million in business.
Yeah, Vinny,
They shut themselves in the foot.
And Colorado has stricter voting laws.
And also, I understand Coke is not doing that well. I heard they lost a lot of money because a lot of people, they had that statement that if you're too white, you can't work it. I don't know, something. So that got viral, and now a lot of people say, I'm not going to buy any Coke products, and Coke is that's the way to hit them in the pocketbook. Same thing with the football-based basketball. You know that their income has gone down by billions of dollars because people are saying, hey, who are going to buy $50 tickets to go watch a basketball game? White people. And you don't want people to be whiteness. They say, you know what? I'm not going to buy you a ticket.
Hey, Ben, first of all, I want to say something here. Anybody that watches professional sports, any professional sports team that takes a knee during the national anthem, right, or any professional sports team that comes on with a Black Lives Matter shirt, I just switch that channel off and never turn it back on again.
Me either.
Because that's the, and you're 100%, they're losing millions of dollars.
I haven't watched any sports except UFC because they're very conservative. So I got to say that.
I don't watch it. I used to watch football all the time. My husband and I were huge football watchers.
No, I love football. I used to play football. I love football.
When you think one person by the name of Colin Kaepernick single-handedly took down the NFL because he took that knee, that spoiled brat. He took that knee that day, and when he took that knee that day, that everything started to fall right after that. I want to know about the sponsors. They all got behind him. I want to know about the managers, about the owners. And you know what? Be damned. All you people who are got to see what do you call it? The Chiefs. Who owns the Chiefs? What's the name of the football team with the Chiefs? They just won the Super Bowl. Oh, they won the Super Bowl the year before. Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, we got to see the Kansas City Chiefs. Go to hell. Go to hell. You don't have to see anything. You're not dying, are you? Okay? Leave it be. Let them just go broke. If people stop buying merchandise and if people put their money where their mouth is and stay the hell out of the stadiums and stop buying this garbage that they're selling you, only then are we going to see anything.
I can't wait to see you on city council, boy. You're gonna oh boy. They're gonna rue the day that you go there. There's not Vicky Palladino. Oh my God.
You may never see me again ever.
You're gonna need 4 bodyguards. You're gonna need 4 bodyguards because they're gonna attack you.
Said to me today. Funny you should say that. Somebody said to me today, Vicky, do you think you should have a bodyguard outside your door here?
I think you're tough enough without a bodyguard.
Hey,
anyway.
Vicky, I'll be your bodyguard.
Oh, by the way, all these
All right,
people that
you're
want to defund the police, they all have private security, and we're paying for it.
Yeah. Curtis,
You know that? We're paying for all these Congress people and representatives. They get, look what happened in the National Guard in Washington, D.C. We should do a show just talking about that, how they have barriers and barbed wire and National Guard. And what they're doing to the National Guard troops there are disgusting. They make them sleep on a concrete floor. They have one bathroom for 500 people. The food is horrible. They got sick. What is going on?
Yeah, Trump took him in. He took him into his hotel. This was early on around the inauguration day. He took him in. Look, you know what?
Let me ask all you intelligent people here. I got to ask you something that's bothering me. With all these people that have surged over the border, all right? They put them in hotels. They're putting them all over the country. What is going to be the end result of all this? Is it ever going to stop, or is it just going to continue?
No, I got you right here. So
okay.
Here's what's going on, Vinny. The Democrats will have you believe, and I say Democrats, I hate to use that term because there's a lot of good Democrats out there that are not all the way to the left.
That's right.
Most people are in the middle. We say that every show. But what they're doing right now, and they're very smart. They're not stupid. The Democrats have us beat. They got a better strategy than us, is they want to dilute the vote. So we talked about this last week on the show, and I didn't even know this until I did some research. But if you look at California, up until 1986 was a Republican state. I know that all the young people now will never believe that. But I'm 57, I should have known that. I should have known this because
Hollywood was conservative. Yeah.
So if you look at up until 1986, California was a Republican state, and then Ronald Reagan, who is beloved by Republicans, he made one mistake. He changed some immigration laws, which caused a huge influx of immigrants from Mexico and South America to go to California. And what happened? They diluted the vote, and since 1986 until now, there has never been another Republican, and may never be another Republican governor or legislature in California again, and it worked. So now the Democrats are following Ronald Reagan's lead, and they are going to dilute the vote. So they can't convert us. They can't convert middle of the road or right-wing Republican Trump supporters. So rather than even try that battle, which they're going to lose, instead of trying to convince me to vote Democrat and socialist, they're just going to dilute my vote where it doesn't count anymore. So let's import all these immigrants, and look what they're doing. Look exactly. I mean, you really have to look at the minutia here. They're not just importing these immigrants into Texas. They're busing them and flying them all over the country. And look, and if you start to follow the pattern, where are they putting them? They're going to start putting them in the Republican states, so we dilute the vote, and pretty soon there's not going to be anything we can do. There will never be another Republican elected in this country again if we continue to let this happen. It has nothing to do with asylum. It has nothing to do with the humanitarian crisis. It's a crock of bullshit.
What they want to do is with the immigrants, we're a sanctuary city, sanctuary state. So
and look at it. Look at New York. Let me tell you something. If New York wasn't so bankrupt, I would run for governor. And why Governor Cuomo gets no competition, or nobody ever wants to run against Cuomo for governor of New York, because whoever takes over the state is going to take over a bankrupt state, and all the blame is going to come with it. Who in their right mind would want to be governor of New York?
Go. Tisha Adams, the Attorney General, is gonna prosecute him for all this crazy stuff he's been doing.
That's all a show. That's all a show. She's a liberal Democrat.
She wants to be governor.
And nothing is going to come of that. Let me tell you something. All the accusations that are going against Cuomo right now for sexual harassment and sexual misconduct is all it's all smoke and mirrors to hide the nursing home scandal.
Exactly.
Felony offenses using his staff and breaking the ethics codes of New York State to write a book and using his staff to print and edit the book at our expense, right? So he could make $4 million on a book. So the sexual harassment, all the nonsense that's going on with Cola right now is smoke mirrors to distract you from the indictable felony offenses that is happening. And yeah, that's right. Danielle Parco there, his own party is coming for him.
Well, that's the whole
Anything they
point.
can
Let me
do, the
explain to you.
Democrats know how to eat their own. They know how to cannibalize their own people to distract the rest of us. And let me make another point here. Hold on one second, Biggie. Let me make another point here. This is the biggest Democrat strategy ever. And this has to do with everything that's going on right now in a nutshell. They have us pitted against each other. They got Black Lives Matter thinking that the systemic racism is rampant, which it's not. I mean, yeah, sure, there's a couple of percentage of bad cops out there that are racist and they should be punished. And what happened to Chauvin is correct and just. But what's happening is they keep us fighting amongst ourselves, Republicans versus Democrats, liberals versus conservatives, so that we don't notice their inequities. We don't notice that they're promoting socialism. We don't notice the bad way that the liberal Democrat states are running their states into bankruptcy. Look at California, halfway bankrupt. Look at New York State, halfway bankrupt. Look at the Republican states, Florida, Texas. They're doing great. They didn't shut down. So as long as they keep us fighting amongst each other, then we're not going to notice the horrible job that they're doing up top, and they can sneak in their liberal socialist agendas, and that's what's happening. So my proposal to this solution, and I don't know how we're going to do it, because unfortunately a lot of these liberals who are not our enemies, they are not our enemies. They have drank the Kool-Aid, and they can't. It's very hard to convince them. But imagine a place where we wake up. Everybody wakes up, the liberals and the Republicans, the Democrats and the Republicans wake up and they say, listen, we got to stop fighting amongst ourselves. And imagine if we got together and turned our attention towards the government and let everybody see what a horrible job the Democrats are doing in government. They'll be exposed. One of your people was talking about, Vinny, I think it was your son earlier, was talking about CNN and the staffer, the director who did they did the expose on Project Veritas, how it's all propaganda and it's all a bunch of BS. In their own words, they admitted it. So if we can get past that and wake people up and start showing them what's going on, then we can bring the country. We need what Biden promised us and didn't deliver. Unity in the country between African Americans and white Americans. If we can get everybody together, then turn our attention towards the inequity of the government, then we're going to have a little bit better chance of getting.
I think that's a pipe dream. You can't play nice and milk toast with the color revolution. That's what we're up against. This is a color revolution, and you have to fight back.
But it's fake. It's not real, Courtney. This revolution is not real. There is no such thing as systemic racism. Our country is not systemically racist to the core. There might be a small percentage, a little tiny percentage of the country.
Hang on. I agree with you, but that you're missing the connotation of what a color revolution is. That's what a color revolution is. They're taking critical race theories and they're using that in order to overthrow our system of government.
Exactly.
It's ideological subversion. And that's literally what a color.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing your point. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. But like I said, it's all smoke and mirrors. But my point is that they have convinced a large portion of the African American community that they are being systematically attacked.
I would actually argue that I don't even think it's that the African Americans who they've convinced. I think it's the liberal privilege.
The woke yuppies.
And they convinced the corporations that they're going to experience, repercussions if they don't go along with this woke culture.
Look at this. All right, a few weeks ago. Here's another one. A few weeks ago, we were addressing the attacks on Asian Americans because of, now I want to make this clear that they were saying that what the media and the Democrats are trying to convince us of is that there were a great increase in percentage of attacks on Asian Americans because, and this is the implication, that Trump called it the Chinese virus. So now there's some white supremacist Trump supporters out there beating up Asian Americans because of COVID-19, which is a complete
First of all, it's statistically not true.
Hello, let me talk. Every attack on an Asian American has been by a black person, not a white supremacist.
I defy anybody to tell me. Somebody please introduce me to an Asian American who has been beaten by a Trump supporter because of COVID-19. It's a crock of nonsense. It doesn't exist, but they get this narrative. And I happen to be in Manhattan about a month ago, and I actually saw a parade going down Canal Street of Asian Lives Matter in conjunction with Black Lives Matter. And it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, because I walked up and down that street. The people that run those little farm markets and the little restaurants down there, everybody's friendly. I would hello to everybody. A ton of people on Canal Street, down in all of Chinatown. I didn't see anything going on with any prejudice towards Asian Americans. It's non-existent, but they drank the Kool-Aid. They made them believe that this is a real problem. Why? So we fight against each other so the government gets more power. That's what's happening. So how do we wake these people up and let them know that they're creating these fabricated crises that don't exist?
The media is very powerful, and they tell the people what they want to know. The only conservative or honest newspaper is New York Post.
Yeah, the New York Post is doing a good
New York
job.
Times is lies like crazy. They've got caught so many times lying. Washington Post, owned by Bezos, who's the richest man in the world, and he's so against all this. You got the L.A. Times is very liberal, right, Courtney?
Yes, it
The
is.
LA Times. So what do we have? We got maybe one newspaper in the whole country that tells it like it is. And, like, I'll give you an example.
That's not true. That's not
a lot
true.
of people didn't know about him.
First of all, we have Truth Matters. Well,
we got to promote. We
have several others.
We got to promote each other. We have to promote each other. And we also have to promote other podcasters. There's a lot of podcasts out there that are conservative. Why? Because the podcasters know
it's the
that
only way,
no other way to go, because you can't use the mainstream media. So there's thousands of podcasters, and I'm guessing that most of them are middle to conservative.
Vinny, I'm surprised they haven't canceled your show for hate speech.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Are you on YouTube, Vinny? Are you on YouTube?
Yeah.
I'm surprised then too. I'm surprised then also.
I got one show a couple months ago. I had to, matter of fact, I had to use a different director, Anthony. Thank God we got him. The other guy worked for NBC. I had mentioned the name of a right-wing group that I'm not supposed to say on Facebook. And Facebook, they didn't take me off, but that particular show, they didn't put it. I don't know.
Did you promote the group or just mention them?
I just mentioned them.
Oh,
I had a woman here that went to she videotaped all this stuff, and this group protected her because they beat her up. She's a one woman with a camera, and Antifa and Black Lives Matter, they've attacked her. So this group helped her. Oh, you can't mention him. He had to quit working for me because NBC said that I am a rabble rouser because I mentioned this people. In a way, I'm flattered. I gotta tell you, I'm flattered. I've been thrown out of a lot of organizations. I've been thrown out of a lot of places, but never by NBC. So, I'm happy. No, listen, this is the cancel culture we have. We have to live with it. We have to fight it, but we have to live with it. It is what it is. We can't,
No, we don't have to live with it.
But people like you, people like me that are not afraid to say what they want to say, And I've always been a blunt guy. I've always said things on my mind. Sometimes I get in trouble for that, but then again, I got to defend myself.
Vinny, look, you know what? Right now, this Excelsior passport BS that they're talking about. This is individual freedoms. This is up to you, the people, to decide whether or not, let's take, for example, an event you're going to have at a certain venue. That venue is going to require either a negative COVID test done 24. I just went to a Blue Lives Matter gala this past weekend on Saturday night, and you had to show within 24 hours a negative COVID test or that you were vaccinated. Okay. These are going to be issued by the venues. So now what's happening? You're not going to be able to go to these venues unless you test negative 24 hours before, or you could show proof. It's like, show me your papers. Back in Nazi
sounds
Germany.
like Russia.
Nazi just. I want to see your papers. Let me see your papers.
No, here's where it comes in.
The New England Journal of Medicine actually recommended that children have stars when they're vaccinated.
Right.
That is exactly like Nazi Germany. Yeah.
Exactly. Stars.
We did. Yep. They
Yes.
suggested stars for vaccinated
You
children.
got the polio. What was the thing? But you got the. Joe, did you ever have that? Or
Yeah, you got the polio vaccine when you were born. Do you remember?
Yeah,
3
you got
days
the little
later?
stuff, but it goes
No,
away.
that's that's not the polio vaccine. The
What
one
was
you're
it?
talking about that leaves a star is the smallpox vaccine.
Smallpox.
I have it. Yeah, in Italian we call that la avallora.
Well, let me ask you something.
I don't know what they call it in American, but the
Let
star.
me go back to the individual rights. Now, it's up to the venue to say, I'm not doing that. You don't have to do it. They don't have to do that. You see, everybody's mistaking these rules for laws.
I know.
They're laws.
They're mandates. They're not laws.
That's correct. And these are not
Mandate is a
laws.
suggestion.
Correct. These are laws these are rules you are choosing to follow. Now, we've come a long way in a year. We've watched everything crash and burn, literally.
Yeah.
Now,
We only have we're over the limit, but I want to thank you guys. You guys were great. We had a lot of stuff. We got to keep doing this again.
okay.
Vicky, whatever you need, Joe and I. Courtney's at 3,000 miles away, but
Where are
Joe and
you?
I will be behind you, in front of you, and next to you.
Great.
But I want to, on Arthur Avenue, we have a saying, sempre noi. It means always with us in Italian.
Where should I go on Arthur Avenue to see you?
What do you want to eat? Which
You tell me.
I'm going to be filming. I'm going to be filming my cooking show on YouTube on Arthur Avenue.
Are you?
I'll let you know when. Yeah, I'll let you
me
know.
I'd love to know.
I got 6 restaurants that are going to let me film there, and they're going to. Joe wants to go and get the El Sabuco because
I love El Sabuco. I love it.
San Gennaro wants to do a seafood dish that's outrageous.
Okay.
You can come and see that one.
But
And
there's
Courtney,
other things, Vinny.
we'll
You
put
and
you
I
on my
gotta
private
talk
jet that I don't have.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to come on your private jet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm being very theoretical tonight. I theorize that I'm going to win the lottery, make $90 million. I theorize that I got a jet, and I theorized a few other things tonight.
Hey, a man
but I want
could
to tell you, I
dream,
didn't
Jenny.
theorize. You guys are the best.
Thank
I'm having
you,
a
Vinny.
great time doing this,
Thank
and we
you.
got a lot of people. My God, we can't answer everybody's response. But, and the beginning, I don't know if you know, in the beginning of the show, I say a statement that we might or might not be able to acknowledge everybody's thing. Because one of my dear friends said, "Hey, I acknowledge you didn't acknowledge me." Hey, I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Vinny, I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you so much. No, and Vicky, you want to come on again? You're
Thank you.
welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Have
You
a
got
wonderful
big mouth,
evening,
and I want
folks.
everybody to hear it.
Cheers, everybody.
God bless
Salud.
America.
Thank you.
Salud.
God
Have
bless
a good night.
America is right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Check out my YouTube channel for more content like this.